thank you, Alicia, for making time to chat about Microsoft Teams. I wanted to kind of hear a little bit about what you do in your role here at the school and then see how this tool can help you. So we were just talking about this a little while ago. Tell us about your role and which PLCs you directly support on a regular basis.
I support kindergarten, first grade, and Encore. And Encore is our special area teams, which there are 10 teachers.
Oh, that's a big
for
team.
Encore, yes.
What would you identify, whether with all of them or with the one that you support most regularly, what are some strengths of the PLC as a PLC, and then also what are some areas you'd like to see them grow in?
Some strengths with, well, because there's 3 different ones, so a couple of them have their agenda ready to go, and we follow the agenda, and we have norms. Another one, not so much.
Okay. So would you consider those a growth area then?
Most
that they're
definitely.
Really not? Okay.
Yes. And I also, a growth area would be, it's on the agenda. We say we're gonna do it once we get to it. So it might be something that the teacher has to implement on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we come back to the PLC, it has not been done.
Okay.
So I think, I don't know, more follow-up before the next PLC to make sure that everybody did what they were supposed to do.
So do you know if there is a particular, and this I think will relate very directly to this Microsoft Teams tool, is there a particular model or like an agenda format that you all are required to use school-wide for your PLCs?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, in an ideal world.
Right.
Okay. So I'm hoping that sharing this Microsoft Teams tool with you will be helpful for your support of PLCs, because I think a lot of the things that you hit on already are things that it can offer. Microsoft Teams, and we'll log in there in just a minute, is a collaborative workspace that helps specify
I'm just writing
teams.
down
Yes,
stuff that you're saying.
Go ahead.
I like to hear collaborative workspace. Okay, go ahead.
And then it helps with communication within and across that team, as well as there's some accountability structures in there built in that I think you especially might find helpful. So if you want, when you're ready, we can hop right in. Actually, what I'll probably do is show you on here first, and then I'll let you hop into yours. So when you're logged into your webmail, you hover over these little the little grid up there, and there's all kinds of delightful Microsoft apps up here, but Teams is the one that you want to click on. And you can do that if you like. Go ahead with me.
Teams.
And so mine is gonna load. You can go ahead and click on that one for you. Yeah. Yours may not load in the same way, so I'll kind of show you just an overview of it here, because you haven't set yours up yet probably. So
you have to set it up before you start using it.
And it's a very quick setup, but the reason is that you can have different types of teams. So teachers could do it for their classroom. There's a specific PLC one that has some built-in PLC structures, and there's just a regular old Teams that's for adults rather than kids. But for the purpose of today, we're going to do the PLC one.
Next, or should I X out?
Next. Okay, so I will show you, X set up. So I'll show you kind of what I have set up, and then we'll translate over to yours and get you set up with the PLC team. So over here, so this chat area is a place that allows you to chat with basically anybody who you would be able to email within the CMS network. But then here is where all of your team functions live, underneath the Teams tab.
You want me to click it?
You sure can. You won't see anything in there yet, but we'll get to that. So just to show you kind of an example of how you can set things up, once you've set up a team, you get to specify who you want in the team. Only the owner of the team can invite or remove people, right? So you'll be the owner for this. Is there a particular PLC that you might want to focus on for today, the purposes of today, just using them?
We'll just do kindergarten, just because. I'll go in line, kindergarten first.
Okay, perfect. So on every tab will have a general kind of sub tab, right? A drop down bucket. And what you'll be able to do here is chat within members of the team. So we're going to experiment with that later, but you can have ongoing chat conversations here. And you can even set it up so that you'll get a notification in your email when somebody is chatting with you.
Okay.
And then these other little kind of sub buckets underneath here are called channels. But the way I look at them, like I've got one set up for my learning community team, but then we have little micro teams that have separate functions. So for your kindergarten team, are they departmentalized? Probably not, right? So if there's like a math channel that you want and a literacy channel, so that
two different planning periods,
right?
Two different planning times,
right? That might make sense to kind of help subdivide
right.
the particular team's work.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you up under the general bucket, you're always going to see this conversations. Plus, there's a spot to upload like files that everybody uses all the time, like frequently accessed ones would belong here in this general. And then this is what I think is so cool, that's a feature of the PLC team. So it has a PLC notebook. I don't know if Dufour's model is what you're using here, but it goes with the Dufour's model of professional learning communities, and it has a lot of built-in, basically it's got everything you would need in a notebook to keep you in line, from agendas to accountability planning, SMART goal setting. It has all that kind of built in as a nice interactive notebook, so that whoever the team is that's using this will have that notebook as their own. So that's a cool piece that's in the general tab. And then really, you know, we can go through as we work how to add channels, how to, you know, kind of the purpose of them, and then we can practice with the chat.
Okay.
Any questions? Go ahead. Yeah.
Who were they calling?
Go ahead.
No questions yet.
One more thing about this chat is real cool down here. You can type directly to somebody if you start it with an @ symbol.
Okay.
Or you can embed videos, like if there's exemplars that you want to share across the team, you can put that there. Add attachments. So this is a very robust chat feature. It's not just like texting or whatever. So let's hop in and get you set up. So you're gonna create a team, right? Click on that. And I think based on what we discussed, you want a PLC, right? So name that, so sorry. You don't have to add a description, but you could if you wanted. So for right now, just for our experimental time, why don't you just add me as the only person in the PLC or in the what's your name? And you can always delete me later because I'm not part of the kindergarten PLC. There I is. Okay. So does it allow you to do next?
Close. Member.
Yes, I'm not because you could assign me ownership rights if you
so
wanted.
So then we would both be able to
add people out. Right. So you might give the PLC chair that access, right?
Okay. So then
I just got an email. Alicia Reed added you to a team.
Oh, okay. So close this.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So now you should see me there. You should be able to chat with me. Let's experiment with creating some channels. So if you think about like the buckets of work that the kindergarten PLC, you know, falls into, what do you?
Would I click on the
main one?
The main one. Okay.
Click on that and then the 3 dots.
Okay.
Yep. And then you want to add a channel.
So it would be ELA.
And you could do a math one if you wanted.
And then I go back to this again.
Yeah.
And do it. Okay.
Right.
Add channel.
And then there's magical 3 dots for everything up there under by kindergarten PLC. If you hover over those again, click on it. You can add members there. You can edit the team. You can basically manage all the team functions from those little 3 dots, which is convenient because it's all there. So why don't you try to send me a message? We'll see if I get one up here. See if you can chat with me.
So down here, right?
You could either send it directly to me or do the whole team, but there's nobody else in it.
So then I would do that.
Yeah. See, here's the team that you added me in, right?
And
so
it
if I
shows
click on general, oh, up here, it shows me here that you wrote, hey, so I got this in my activity. It also shows up, not here. So that one must have just been the personal one that you sent me, not to the whole team.
Oh yeah,
so I
no.
didn't show up in
So
here.
go to the.
Mm-hmm.
What I did was it was just on one of those. So if I want to send it to you, do I go up to the big one,
Oh,
kindergarten PLC, or do I go to general?
So if you were telling me, hey Tammy, about math, you put it in the right place because see it shows
Okay.
up under that bucket.
Right,
But if
right.
it's just a general thing about like moving the PLC meeting time or
Okay.
whatever,
Okay.
you would put it under general. But
Okay.
it'll always pop up here in the activity. So I'll write a return one to you, and then you'll see hopefully that you'll have a thing pop up. So I want you to experiment with. I kind of want to give you some free playtime. Yes.
So let me ask a question. So I'm gonna put people in, right? Let's say I do that right now as opposed to you because we're doing it. If I put in my kindergarten people's names, how would they know? Is it, do they get an email saying Alicia Reed has put you, okay.
So there's two ways to add people, right? You could do it the way you just added me, where you
Right.
find the person, add their email, and then they get an email saying Alicia Reed added you to a
Right.
Microsoft Team Kindergarten PLC, right? Or if you wanted, because this might be, since it's the first time they're using this,
Right.
you might want to lay a little groundwork and explain to them what's happening before you add them, in which case you could have them join with a code. So that allows people to self-enroll. So you would just share the like auto-generated code with them, and I can show you how to do that if you need to. An auto-generated code that you just give them at a PLC meeting after you've had the chance to explain, and then they just self-enroll.
Okay.
Could go one of two ways. Yep. So play around a little bit with the team and then the channels, because play around in this notebook and the files. The files are very interesting, so see about like uploading something and see how that works for you, because there's some interesting features there. And if you upload, for instance, in the files, if you upload like a Word document that's in a traditional Word doc, it will convert itself to a collaborative type of document, similar
so that
to Google
everybody
Doc.
can add. Okay.
Yeah, can work in it and see in it. So this whole concept of like real-time workspace is applied.
Okay, so I just uploaded a file.
Was it a Word document?
It is a Word document.
So if you click in it, try to click it. So see how it has become like.
Oh, you can edit it. Okay. Edit and see. Okay.
So that you have some options in terms of how it saves and where it's accessible and all that. So, yeah, and that PLC notebook is interesting too if you want to peruse that.
Okay. So this has all like different links that I could go into and check out.
And it's especially helpful, I think, for schools or for teams that don't have an established PLC structure or routine, right? It has everything kind of laid out there.
But even just, you can get great ideas,
Right.
even if we have a structure.
Right, even pieces, right? As a PLC, if you're setting SMART goals that are in alignment with the school improvement plan, all of those templates, or it's got, meeting notes and agenda templates.
I like that.
And it's all right there, right? And so then if you click down here again, and let's say you have a math PLC meeting, go ahead down there. You also could apply under notes, apply any of those agendas right here, and kind of keep those in a running notes area. It's very organized,
And
very
so
accessible.
it saves it all in here. So like when I close this out, if I put my notes in there, when I open back up.
Right. And it also is nice too, because you don't have to, with some other things, you don't have to wait on, you can see everything updated live. You don't have to wait on people to send you stuff. You just know that there's a deadline. It's due in teams by X point.
Right. So if
emails don't have to come.
let's say, so will I get an email saying somebody uploaded something?
That is a great question. So there is a way to customize your settings. And so you as an individual can go in and set it up so that you get email notifications for X, Y, Z, but some people don't want emails for every single thing. So you can customize that within the settings. Yeah. So I know you want to play around some more and poke around, but maybe not on some blank video space time. So are there any lingering questions you have about what we talked about?
No, I know where to find you.
Yes, you do. Always and forever. So how do you think, or do you think this could be
I think
helpful
once
and
I play
beneficial?
around with it and talk with my PLCs, we might be able to use this.
Is there any?
I like that it's all right there. I think this is a little easier to find things than everybody saves things in
the Google. The Google.
In the drive, and when I go to look for the agendas, I am lost.
Right.
Especially because there are so many, because then if we think about math and ELA, and then I have 3 different, so to speak, grade levels.
Right.
So trying to find that as well as everything else that everybody sends. This
This
is right
does,
there.
Yep, and it does a lot of the thinking and organizing for you. And the other piece is you get to be, rather than everybody and their mama having access to Google Drive files, if it's shared, you get to, you know who's in your team, what purpose it is.
What I've shared with them. Right. And it's there for them. They don't have to go digging.
Exactly.
And I think that's where we waste time in the beginning, because now I sent it to you.
Right. Digging through email, digging through shared with me, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, good. I'm glad you see a benefit to it. And you do know where to find me if you need
Yes.
questions.
Thank you, ma'am.